Hey guys, Mongo here. Quick update in the overall markets. I haven't done a video in about a week at this point. Not much to talk about, so that's kind of where we are. This coming week, this is on Sunday, the 23rd of June. So I believe the upcoming week you have some Bitcoin ETF news coming out and or some spot ETFs being launched in the United States, along with some being launched in Canada. So that should have a overarching effect. I think that'll be a little different than the Bitcoin ETFs that were launched, being the fact that Grayscale was the negative factor there. Grayscale had a imbalance to make up for by selling a boatload of their actual spot Bitcoin to make up for the difference, whereas I don't believe you have anything like that on the Ethereum side. So. While everyone's calling for 57 to 62, I think we're pretty close. I think the fact the average person is too bearish. Yes, we are summertime, and things are a little different. I don't want to say that this time is different, but the way the monthly looks is just way more bullish than it had been in the past. Money flow is stronger. You're more or less in a steep bull flag versus if you look back here, it's more of a consolidation range. You're consolidating below the all-time high. People think that's a rejection. Not really. Sure, could 60,000 come around? Could 62? Could be a wick down that low? Sure. But I'm just pulled up. I left the fibs up. This is the BLX chart I use on the monthly and the weekly. So let's start here at the monthly. If you compare it to here, you had a drawdown for about 3 months before you pop back up for a double top. Where it's different this time is you're starting to see the indicators popping for more strength. It's not really a blow off top and then dump. This is just a nice consolidation range. We'll get into that in a second. I like what I see in the money flow, the curvature, the stability. You've got some RSI still pointing up, whereas here you were all over the place. There's a much larger gap here. Actually really tight on the RSIs. This one was tight as well, but it was kind of choppy. So that's what I'm looking for. I like what I see in the monthly. I feel like the dump is already played out. Let's jump into the 2 weeks. Let's do the 2 weeks. Same thing, consolidation phase. You're consolidating below an all-time high. You're consolidating below these all-time highs. So usually the fourth attempt to break through that ceiling is the one that's going to break through it. Excuse me while I delete this so it doesn't go off the entire time during stream here. So 1, 2, 3 times. Usually the fourth time it's going to bust through, back test, and continue higher. So when that's going to happen is the only question. Could we consolidate the rest of the summer? Sure. It could consolidate through September. But I think you're going to be quite surprised here in the next couple of weeks that potentially July and August are much more bullish than people expect, and those of you that are waiting till September to buy back in are going to be sadly mistaken. So money flow still existent at the moment. You can see the price action, the candles is kind of sideways. There's not much else to say. The 200 EMA is actually holding well on the 2 weeks. So looks good. This is the 50 down here. So, yeah, I like what I see. Actually, I think the 200 might be down here. Let's pull this up. I'm getting myself confused here. 20, that's the 9. So that's the 9, not the 200, excuse me. So the 9 is holding on the 2 weeks. That's usually a big bounce point. Jump down to the 1 week. 50 still holding. Yearly VWAP is coming in at 58, so that would be my worst case scenario target. You've got this lovely liquidity rainbow here from one of my indicators that's showing that 50,600 is a nice intermediate balance point. But nowhere have we come even close to testing this the entire way on the 1 week. Except when we actually broke out back in October of last year. So I really want to hold this red line here, which is the 50. We're We're holding it currently. We're really sitting on it. We're testing it. And then you're sitting just below the weekly VWAP. The monthly VWAP is quite a bit up. So we want to get back above 67.8 to be somewhat bullish. So this weekly close will make a big difference on where we are. And keep in mind, the longer this VWAP stays below the zero line, the more of a thrust you're going to have up. Let's grab our measuring tool here. You're below the zero line here for 56 days, and then you had a huge thrust up of roughly, once this happened, of 18%. So nothing exclusively crazy, but 18% goes. That'll allow altcoins to really push again. So let's say that happens here soon. From today's price, 18% will put you back up at 76,000. So then you come back down for a back test. And literally most of my time frames, the indicators I use are telling you have a weak high. So you do have a poor high. You got basically one candle, two candle, three candles that are almost even. So that's usually going to get taken out, especially these two. They haven't been mitigated yet. You got stop losses for shorts above these and liquidation prices. So once you do break these, you're going to get a thrust just from stop losses being triggered and also liquidation prices. Likelihood is the average person on a short, especially the big boys, have their stop losses above 73.7. So that'll most likely get triggered. Whereas I don't really like what we're seeing here in terms of structure. It kind of looks like a double top, but it's also making it's consolidating like a bull flag. So you've got lower highs and you've got higher lows. So far so good. You could draw this as a bull flag. What I would recommend is kind of dragging a fixed value area range and going from there. So pull from the highest point to the lowest point, and then use that as your range. So we get a nice bounce also off of a value area low. The point of control for this range is back up here at 69,133, roughly speaking. And the value area high is coming in at 70,870. So let's get rid of the BLX chart. That's all I wanted to show on that. Let's get right back into the Bitcoin chart itself and kind of dive into the daily. Let's go to the 3-day first. 3-day. Let me get rid of some of this stuff here. Sorry. This is my actual trading chart, so I have some gunk on here. We do have a falling channel we've kind of broken out of. Let's extend that. Give us an idea here. Oops, wrong one. Undo that. I don't want that one. So we do have a breakout target from this falling channel or falling wedge of 68.9 basically. So I wanted to extend that one. There you go. You can see that. So we'll zoom in on some other time frames, but you can see we're kind of breaking out, back testing that channel. The fact that everyone's really bearish right now and calling for 50,000 really makes me bullish, since the whole point of the market makers is to cause as much damage as possible. So if the average retail investor and trader is bearish, it's usually going to be bullish the next move. So that's the 3-day. Also, I like the fact that we're going to start putting a trigger wave here over the next few days, as long as you hold and or maintain our average area here, kind of consolidate and push. Money flow is coming back in. VWAP's turning up. I like the 3-day. 2-day. Same thing. Money flow is starting to flatline or turn up. The VWAP's coming back in. Let's get rid of this here. You get more of a screen for you. Yearly VWAP on this one, because it's not the BLX chart. It's a regular perpetual futures chart from XC, is coming in at 61,220. So we could reject here, which we are currently rejecting off of the daily VWAP, but Asia will reset that here in about 7 hours along with the weekly close. So that should be, usually that's a violent thrust up in these cases. It could sweep some more liquidity, but I don't know. Weekend volume's kind of slow. I like what I see structurally on the 2-day. 1 day, about the same. You got a green dot showing we have some potential bottoming. You can see it's starting to slow and try to form a bottom. So tonight's close will make a difference on where we are with the daily VWAP. 12-hour. A nice thrust down. So you're kind of sitting in a higher low currently. You could come back down for a double bottom, which would put you on the lower time frames over here around the 886 of this fib pool. I like it. I'm kind of, we're still in the middle. We're kind of off this channel here. We're kind of back testing the midline. So if this holds, this is bullish, and then we'll consolidate, kind of hopefully bust out, and then back test this trend line we have here. The upper end of the trend line, I should say. 6 hour. Yeah, 6 hours showing we're going to come down lower. So let's just pull a quick fib here locally. Where's the top here? Yeah, so you're getting a bounce currently around the 0.5 fib to the 0.54 fib. Actually tagged the 0.54 exactly. Asia loves to use that one. That's why I have it in here. If you haven't added 0.54 to your fibs, I would. Asia loves 0.54. They also love the 886. And I have also the 0.414 fib. Those are all lovable fibs by Asia. So look for this to try to hold. If not, look down to the 618, which is coming in at 63.7. Those would be good. You're going to start forming divs if you keep coming any lower, bull divs, which I like to see. So I haven't drawn the midline. This is probably back testing the midline currently. 4 hour. Yeah, if you come back down here, you're going to print a really big bull div. So you kind of zoom out a little bit. You're having price action that's falling while you're starting to round on all of this. You have increasing momentum here. Money flow is pretty flatlined. It's not really dipping that much. So classic. So look for a bottoming structure, a double bottom, higher low. Kind of invalidated an inverse head and shoulders here in the short term. This could have been the head, but this shoulder is kind of funky. So we need a bounce here for this to maintain itself. We need a bullish breaking structure, which we haven't had yet. We need to get it back above 64,500 to have a bullish breaking structure. So right now we're still bearish, technically speaking, in the short term. 2 hour. Yeah, 2 hour. We're getting a buyback. So purple candles usually starting to show you're starting to slow down. So this could be a good spot here. You could have some wiggle room. You could come back down another 0.25% to the 618. May not be a bad spot to put a limit long there. But I wouldn't YOLO just yet. And you want to wait for a breakout and a back test. So let's say it does come back down to the 618, bounce back up. Look for some of these key levels. Previous day low is right in here. Also, you got some psychological levels here. You want to break back above this daily value, not value area, VWAP. And they also the daily open. You want to break above that. You want to get back above some of these candles here to give you a internal bullish breaking structure. All right. Come back down, maybe back test one of these, and then get back above this trend line I have here. I really want to get us back above 64,300 and then start looking for some consolidation. And then that's when you want to try to find some of these higher lows to get into. Once you have a breakout of here, You're really bullish once you get back above 65,200. You're going to start breaking some more of an external structure, or at least start setting some higher expectations, and then we'll see what Asia does with that. They also could come back down and sweep liquidity, then come back up. So keep in mind everything's possible. If you are trading weekends, just set realistic stop losses. You don't want to get absolutely rugged. I'd rather get stopped out and then look for a re-entry with a minor loss than hold on for something and then all of a sudden it cascades and you're screwed. So just be wary. Also, you've got the weekly VWAP up here at 65, basically 100. And you got a huge level of resistance up here from starting at 65,200 going all the way up to 66. But keep in mind, we do have my breakout target up here at basically 68,900. That is the measured move from this falling wedge. So let's see what happens. There's not much else I can say here in the short term. That's the 2 hour, 1 hour. I do like the momentum waves. They're slowing down. They're consolidating. Yeah, they're still showing potentially a weak low. So you could put maybe a limit order down here at 62,750, and then maybe one right below here, the monthly low and the weekly low, and then put one just above it, somewhere around the 886 or the 786. See if you can get a wick and a bounce. Kind of do some fishing there. I like to do that as well. Just some small orders there. And again, obviously use your risk management accordingly. Protect yourself. But yeah, this is looking like a potential double bottom structure. You're within. You're probably holding this midline here, which I haven't drawn in. But yeah, overall looking for a bounce. How high is the question? And then is Asia going to be bullish, pushes higher, or is it going to rug us lower? So I don't know. So I'm looking for a bounce to get back above at least the daily VWAP, which is somewhere around 64,300, and then get back above this one up here at the weekly up at 65, we'll call it 100. And that's it for Bitcoin. I will do another video here very shortly on everything else, but I just want to cover Bitcoin exclusively here. I'll get into Pulse Chain, Jasmy, Bonk, Boom, and some other meme coins that are potentially looking at. I did buy some spot Jasmy yesterday. The only trade I've had all weekend is actually a Jasmy longs and one scalp short. But that's another good one to buy into. The structure on that looks great. I'll get to you in the next video. But nothing I say is financial advice. Best of luck. You want to find me, head over to Crypto Blackwall on Twitter and the Blockguard Discord. Thanks.